Our ancient ancestors had a tangible bond with nature and the cosmos. That bond is broken. Join me, Shaman EagleHeart, as I connect with spirits. Spirits who want to share their advice about how we rebuild this bond. Hello to you spirits of this place. I'm Shaman EagleHeart. I come here on the occasion of this equinox to celebrate and honor this time. This is the moment of balance, where we stand between the masculine and the feminine, and the light and the dark. When I finished my formal apprenticeship as a fully initiated shaman in the Canadian-American traditions, the elders told me that I would live to a time when the world would be dangerously out of balance. And we want you to use your gifts of sight whispering to talk to the ancestors and gather the wisdom that we need to restore balance to our time. A shaman is someone who has a gift to move between worlds, to move between realities for the purpose of getting information or healing or perspective and bringing that back into this reality. I always use the term sight whispering because it absolutely happens when I'm at a site, that there are spirits that show up. So I've always called it sight whispering, but it's just a form of channeling, I believe. And the way that it is, it's the thing that I use as the metaphor of a radio. So you know that you drive along and you have a radio station that comes in suddenly, and then you'll drive a little bit further and then it'll go away. It's kind of like that. So what I've learned to do over time is that I just adjust the dial to keep that delicate little station. We had to leave, oh okay. He's saying we felt that this place was now poisoned, that something was poisoning us or something was, so we had to leave it to allow the poison or the illness or whatever it is to calm down or to disappear. So sometimes I'll be in a site and I'll see people, or I'll see activity, or I'll see children, or I'll see families, and I can observe things, and then I have to tune in to hear what's being said. Sometimes I'll be walking along and I'll just hear something, and I'll, what? Okay, they're explaining to me that every star emits a unique light frequency. Oh, things are kind of shifting. It's nighttime now, and the ceiling is a complete corbelled roof. There's a man with a bowl. He's holding it underneath an opening in the roof. A star is being reflected in the surface in the bowl. The water is absorbing the energy from that particular star. I remember one time in South Africa, we went to a site. I contacted some people and they said, yes, we're here, but we're not the people you want. We can't answer your questions. And that happens too sometimes, that I'm not talking to a spirit that's kind of an omniscient guide. If it's Tuesday today, in our present year, it's Tuesday 5,000 years ago. So I'm talking to the person that may be mucking out the trail, or I'm talking to one of the builders that's carving something. So I'm not talking to some guide, I'm talking to a person that's actually there in like a parallel universe or a parallel timeline. And it's been fascinating to me that some things they know, some things they don't know. They can't tell me things about our time because they don't know our time. So what I've learned is that to them, we appear like ghosts appear to us. That there are certain people in their time that can see spirits like certain people in our time can see spirits. So I appear to them like this kind of a spirit being. And that's how we have the conversation. So it's been a fascinating journey, and the thing I love about it is that I'm just talking to whoever's there. And I think when I go back to a site, I don't often meet the same person. Because, I don't know, something shifts in the location, or something shifts in the energy or the frequency, and it can be just slightly different, and you talk to a different person. So that's how it works for me, that it's this kind of sight whisper, you know, if there are horse whisperers and dog whisperers, I think I'm a sight whisperer, and that there are layers of sight. I think as I've been working on this kind of a project and being this sight whisperer for all of these years, you get into situations where you're in disagreement with academics mostly, because they're trying to prove a particular thesis. So they shape reality, they shape the evidence to fit their thesis. And what I'm doing is going into a time I have no idea. I have no vested interest in a particular story or a particular outcome. I'm exploring, I'm talking, I'm listening. This is just the person that's there. So I'm not going there to prove anything. I'm not going there to validate anything. I'm just gathering information. So as a shaman, my commitment is to go into other worlds, gather information, and bring it back. All I can do is say, well, what I see or what they're telling me is. And so the academics or the scientists that get me to confirm their theories love this. And the ones that don't, then shamanism is just bullshit. And you just roll with that and go, look, I can just tell you that I've traveled to this other dimension, this is what I've heard, this is what they said. It's just another piece to the puzzle. And I think the beauty of these ancient sites is they're a mystery. And I think what we need to do more of is embrace the mystery and realize that the world is far more interesting than we know. It's far more rich than we know. Because that sparks our imagination, that makes us think, that makes us curious, that makes us go on adventures.
Over the last 30 years, traveling to sacred sites all over the world, I've learned that our ancestors had a beautiful, tangible bond with nature and the cosmos, and that now that bond is broken. So by going to sacred sites, maybe we can find out how to renew that bond for ourselves.